Okay, this is a sheet you can use for your final. This tells you how to solve equations. The back end kind of tells you how to set up story problems. Okay, if we have x, only x, this is where we're going to look. If we have x squared and x, this is where we're going to look. So, first problem, I've got x squared and I have regular x. So we're looking right here. More than one answer, there would be two. Make sure you have equals 0, we do. And then count how many terms, 2, 3, or 4. So here's 3, so there's 3. GCF and T. GCF, you don't have a negative, you don't have X on everything, and then 1's your smallest. The only factor is 1, so no. Okay, then A, B, C. So 1 times negative 14. That equals negative 14. So it's negative, so I'm looking for a difference. It needs to equal 5. So 14 divided by 1 is 14. That's 13. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 minus 2 is 5. What's A equal? A equals 1. So that means I just need 2 parentheses. So x, x, and then we have 2 and 7. So I have minus 5, so you got minus 7 for sure, and difference means the signs have to be the opposite. Okay, so there was no GCF. Now I'm ready to solve. So x plus 2 can equal 0, or x minus 7 can equal 0. So 1x, and that's going to be negative 2. Plus 7, 1x equals 7. Okay, next problem. I have x to the second and x, okay? So there's more than one answer, so there's 2. Equals 0, so we have our 0. And this time there's 1, 2, so 2 terms. So GCF, and then we do adopts if we can. Okay, so GCF, do I have a negative in front? No, I do have X on everything, so we got to put X. And then take 4 and 20. So 4, 1, 4, 2, and 2. Okay. And you start seeing what you can divide by, potentially. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay, so 4 works. So 4x. And I have 1x plus 5. Those cancel. That's not adopts, so what I do is I take 4x, set that equal to 0. 1x plus 5 equals 0. So 0 is my first answer. Negative 5 is my second. Okay, next up. Got x second and x, okay? So there's more than one answer. There's 2 equals 0, so that's good. Then 1, 2, 3, so we're back to 3. So GCF and T. So GCF, do we have the negative in front? No. Got X on everything, and then 3, 1, and 3. decimal, now I'm back to 3. So now try to divide them all by 3. That's 1. That did not work, so 3 doesn't work, and the only thing left is 1. So no. Okay, so I take A times C, so 3 times 20, that's positive 60. So positive 60, it's positive, so we're looking for a sum that equals 17. No. Nope. Nope. Because 20 plus 3, you're plussing them. Okay. Nope, not 17. There you go. Okay, this time what does A equal, though? A equals 3. So because we have a 3 and not a 1, you can make 4 parentheses to factor it. So lead off with 3. And x second, it's going to be x and x, and 5 and 12. So we have minus 17, so you got minus 12, and a sum means they'd both be the same, so you also have to have minus that. So we got 3 and 3. 1 and 3, 1 and 3. Now see what you can divide by. So here, 5 divides by 3, nope. So 3x minus 5. 3 divided by 3, yep. 12 divided by 3, yep. So 3. That's going to be 1x minus 4. Okay, and there was no GCF, so equals 0. So 3x minus 5 equals 0. 1x plus 4 equals 0. Plus 5, 3x equals 5. 1.6 repeating. Then negative 4. Okay, next up. Get that up. X squared. Okay. So there's more than one answer, so there's 2. Equals 0, we need an equals 0. So that needs to be a 0 there. So I'm minus 17. Minus 17. Now I have equals 0. So negative 33 minus 17 is negative 50. Okay, now there's 2 terms. So 2 terms. So GCF and dots. Negative in front, nope. X, nope. 2. 1 and 2, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. 50 divided by 2 is 25, so 2 works, but just 2, not 2x. So that'll be 1x to the second minus 25. Dots, you have a minus. That's 5 times 5. That's going to be 1x times 1x. Okay, 1x, 1x. So 1x plus 1x, 5, 5. Now you see that 2. There's no x on the 2, so get rid of it. So 1x plus 5 can equal 0, or 1x minus 5 can equal 0. Negative 5 is your first answer. Positive 5 is your second. Okay, here there's no second powers, so it's only x. So what you do is one answer. Box. Get the x's to one side, so plus 2x plus 2x. So 4x plus 2x is 6x minus 3, and then 12. Get non-x's to the opposite side, so plus 3 plus 3, 6x equals 15, and then divide. 15 divided by 6 is 2.5. Next, you got x third, x second, and x. So there's more than one answer, so there's a third power, so that means there's 3 answers. Equals 0, we do. But this time there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 terms, okay? So grouping and dops. So 1x to the third minus 6x to the second, and then negative 16x plus 96. Okay, here all I have is 1 and 6, but they both have x's, a third and a second, so we need to take the second. And then let's look at 16. So 1 and 16. 2 and 8. 16 divided by 3 is a decimal. I get 4 and 4. So 16 divided by 16, that works. And 96 divided by 16, that works. So we do have a negative, though. So we need to put negative and negative, and then go with the 16. So x second, and then negative 16. So that's 1, x third, x second is x, 6, and then x second cancel the x's. It's going to be 1, and then x, and then negative 6, so minus 6. So I've got 1x minus 6, 1x minus 6, so 1x minus 6, and x second minus 16, okay. Dops. X times x and 4 times 4. Now this 1x minus 6 needs to be dropped down. Okay, so 1x minus 6 can equal 0, x plus 4 equals 0, or x minus 4 equals 0. So that's 6. It's negative 4. And that's 4. Okay, and that shows you how to solve equations. Now, next problem. A rectangular trivet has an 8-inch by 6-inch center and a wooden uniform border. If the area is 120 inches, how wide's the border? Okay, so I've got the center's 8 by 6, and then to go around the outside. Now measure your dimensions, okay? That's 8, x, and x. 6, x, and x, okay? So now the length times the width equals area. And the area is 120. And then we have 2x plus 8 and 2x plus 6. Now we need to multiply, so 2x times 2x, 2x times 6, 8 times 2x, and 8 times 6. So that's going to be 4x to the second. It's going to be 12x, 16x, so circle those, and then 48. Okay, so equals 120, and then I've got 4x to the second, 12 plus 16, okay, is 28. So 28x plus 48. Okay, now x seconds in here, okay? So there's more than one answer, so there's 2 equals 0. So minus 120 minus 120. Okay, and now there's 1, 2, 3. So 3 terms, GCF and T. GCF, do you have a negative in front? Nope. Do you have X on everything? Nope. You have 4. That works. That works. And that works. So 4. So A times C, we're going to be taking 1 times negative 18, and that's negative 18. So difference needs to equal 7. No. 9 minus 2 is, there you go. And A equals 1. Okay. Plus 9 minus 7. So you got a 4. But the 4 has no x, so we're ready to solve. So x minus 2 can equal 0, or x plus 9 can equal 0. So I get 2. Don't need to divide because there's a 1 there and negative 9. 2 is the real answer. Okay. A baseball is hit into the air at an initial height of 4 feet, velocity of 30 feet per second. For how many seconds is it in the air? Okay, this is a gravity. Okay, so I have the feet and the number of seconds. Feet per second is 30, okay? And I want to know when it's at 0 feet. That's the bottom, okay? So negative 16x squared plus Vx. Now, V is this number here, so 30x plus starting height, so it started at 4, equals y. Now we're going to put the 0 feet in for y, okay? And then there's an x squared, so there's more than one answer, so there's 2 equals 0. We have 0, and then 3 terms. So GCF, and then my t table. You have a negative in front. You don't have x and everything, so 4 so 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 doesn't work, okay? That failed me. So now try 2. All right, so 2 works, so negative 2. So that's going to be positive 8, and then the x to the second stays the way it is because I'm not dividing by x. A times c. So A is 8, c is negative 2, and that's negative 16. So negative 16, difference needs to equal 15. 1 and 16, there you go. Now A equals 8, okay? So you need to pull 8 down, x, and then 1 and 16. So we have minus 15, difference would be plus. So my small numbers here are 1 and 8. So if 1's the smallest, we're going to cross that out, and that's going to stay 1x, 8x plus 1. Okay, now 8, you got 1, 8, 2, and 4, decimal, and then I'm back to 4. So let's see if 8 works. Yep, it does. So 8, 1x minus 2. You had a GCF negative 2, but since there was no x on that, no x, get rid of it. Now we're ready to solve, okay? So 8x plus 1 can equal 0, or 1x minus 2 can equal 0. Negative 0.125. There's our first answer. And then 2. So the real answer is 2 because it's positive. Okay, a dolphin jumped out of the water with an initial velocity of 32 feet per second. After how many seconds does a dolphin enter in water? So again, we're back to a gravity problem. So I've got feet and seconds. And the feet per second ratio is 32. So gravity. Now there's no starting height, so we skip that and just put equals y. Because 32 is gone, there's no other numbers. And we put the 0 in for y. X second I have to solve for. There's more than one answer, so there's 2 equals 0, have it. and then there's two terms this time, 1, 2. So GCF and then DOPS. GCF, we have a negative in front. We have X on everything, and then 16 and 32, so 16. Three is a decimal, and then if I get 4 and 4. So let's try 16, see if we can divide. That's 1. That's 2. So negative 16x. That's going to be 1, and then x, and then negative 2, and then the x's cancel. So is that a DOPS? No. Okay. So negative 16x could equal 0, or 1x minus 2 could equal 0. So I get 0.